Good evening, everyone. Wolf here, the other half of Starlight and Starbright. It is September 6th, evening, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Mountain Time here in southwestern New Mexico. I thought I would share with you a couple things that I was doing today. A little frustrated earlier, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes here. Among the things that I have visioned for the Wolfstar Productions 2024 franchise, company, LLC, it's all those. Of course, has been since probably 20 years was to see if I could publish my own books and stories and those kind of things. And I'm finally going to start doing that. That's the purpose of this here video tonight. Of course, we have the Wolfstar Cafe on this channel, and we're going to be featuring a video probably tomorrow. I know I've got an item that I want to get in the oven, and I think Star has something she wants to do too, so we might be able to do it together. We shall see, huh? Anyway, I wrote a story. Let's see, actually, I'm going to bring the camera around. I'm not sure how well this is going to look, but I'm going to get up and kind of look over here. And this is a page that you can see over here. It says the Harp Twins. And this is one of their official websites. They have a Facebook page and stuff. Now, these are two young ladies who are identical twins. We'll go over to their Facebook page here. Here's their Facebook page. And of course, as the name implies, they play harps, and all kinds of different harps. And I really recommend that if you have a moment, you want to listen to some wonderful and some beautiful music, look up our twins. They are absolutely wonderful what they do. Anyway, the story that I'm about to show you, and I think I have it also here still on the machine. This story was inspired by my admiration for this duo, this musical group. And one day I just decided, well, I don't know if I decided, but I came up with this idea for this story, and it kind of matched with my other fantasy area, of which I have stories out there. And my fictional town is called Cat Canyon, just as it sounds. And it's based on a town that is on the Lost Coast of Central California. And I lived there many, many years ago. Not for long, but for a while. And so anyways, I got this idea, and with it, among this fictional place, which I've written a lot of some other stories, some of my other characters that hopefully I will have out here real soon as well. But there's a waterfall nearby, and of course I call it Meow Falls. M-E-O-W Falls. Why? Maybe because my town is called Cat Canyon? I don't know. But that's the beauty of having a gift of creativity and inspiration, that I can usually just dream up anything. And my ideas, they can come from walking down the street or driving. I could see a billboard, for example, and I might take away with an idea, and then all of a sudden a story will develop. I may see something in the newspaper or a magazine, and suddenly I'm writing a story. And then at times, I'm just sitting here and something will pop into the brain and I will just start writing away. Okay, so enough of that. So this story, and I'm going to get up here and turn the camera for a moment. See if we can see it there. So this is on the computer, and it's called The Harps of Meow Falls. Now, all these images are done by me and a nice little AI device from Microsoft. And, you know, I start out with, you know, my fictional town there, which is Cat Canyon. And then, of course, I work into a story. Let's turn this back around here. Now, I'm perhaps an unusual writer. I like to mix like real life things or events, and many times I will go out and research and look for history on, you know, a place, and I will then work that into my storyline. And I am very particular about using footnotes and giving credit where credit is due. And that could be a practice that I obviously employed and learned when I was both in my master's program and in my doctoral program 15 years ago. You know, cite your work, give the credit, try not to plagiarize and or, you know, copy other one's work without permission, and makes you a happy camper. What does me. Okay, anyway, on with what we're doing here. Okay, so the story here that is on the computer, and all my stuff, I use Google Docs to write my stuff for various reasons. One is just because it saves it immediately. And so if we have a power outage or I hit the cord with my big toe, I've done that many times, and, you know, shut the computer off, then at least my stuff is saved. Now, as I mentioned, I wrote this story originally, I think back in February or March, and a lot of things got shelved when we were starting to look, you know, for our house here. And when I finally, and I've been putting this off, I can procrastinate. I bet you I could win an award for being the best procrastinator on this planet. Anyway, when I opened the story and everything, I had a heck of a time. The file would freeze. Google Docs would ask me to close it, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, what happened, now when I did finally was able to print it, it printed this huge pile, and I was like, did I write that much? Now I can. If you give me a chance, I can a lot of times storm through a story and end up with 30, 50, 100 pages without even blinking, so to speak. Anyway, so I printed this out and then found out that it had all these blank pages and then the story at the end. Now, if any of you have worked on the computers, which I'm sure you have, either for home or office, or perhaps you have been in school or still are, if you pull a document up and it's not there, you get a little scared or paranoid or frustrated. And I was sure that I had lost the story. Well, to the end, I found out, or I learned, that apparently perhaps my cat or something got on the keyboard when I probably had the story open last, and they just hit a button to where the program scrolled nearly 100 pages, which obviously were blank. So once I finally realized that, hello, here's the problem, delete the pages. And of course I had my original story, which is 33 pages, and went back and did my best to format it and stuff. Now, what I have here, I still need to go back and tweak it, make sure I've got the right font stuff, but I just wanted to see if something would work today. Okay, so let me see here. So back to the publishing. Now, this may not look like much. I'll get over here and take a look. But this is a document or book binder machine. And when you have the right envelopes, or basically what you're going to put your story in, then you put it into this machine, and we'll show you here in a moment. It's very similar to this one I've shown you. This other story here, you can see it's got this, let's see, how do we go here? It's got this this glued binder, and of course, it has all the pages and everything in it and stuff. And of course, this story was done by an online publisher that I've used. And while it's all nice, and of course this is a very nice work, these things are like $15 a piece and stuff. And you know what, I'll go ahead and give a shout out here. This is the name of the company, if I can get it. It is called Book-O-Mott. And so if you are interested and you have any work that you want done and put in a nice book format, look them up. But anyway, I still want to do things myself. So I bought this machine, this bookbinder, and you put all your pages into some kind of a outer sleeve that at the end will have a glued section. And let's see, I'll try to put it down here. and everything. So you've got the machine, it gets turned on. This is pulled back. I know it's kind of hard to see. And you would put your loose document right in there, and then you turn it on, it warms it up, and it runs for probably about 10 minutes. And basically the binder section here has of course got glue, and well, it does what it says to do. It glues your pages together. Anyway, so I did this story tonight. Now, of course, this came with this this binder, which I wouldn't use if I was actually, publishing the story outward. But it, like I said, it comes with this bind, and so I put that in there like that, and it took about 5-10 minutes, and then I was able to basically bind this story together, this fictional story here that is, as I said, inspired by the Harp Twins, and it's just a fantasy story that our two twins are going to go on a adventure to save their town from not a good person. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, you know what? I won't give it away. As you can see, I like to incorporate lots of different pictures. I think they kind of help tell the story. And these, of course, are AI generated. Put something into the program. I use Bing, I think it's called, AI Imager. It's from Microsoft. I use it primarily because it doesn't cost anything. And for the most part, I can get some pretty nice images. For example, when I did this image, this was one image. Okay, I said I want a harp in a forest with some pine trees and a forest and mountains behind it, and enchanted. Well, then I took that picture, that single picture, and made a copy of it, and then I reversed it, and I put them together. And so we have an illusion of two harps, two little streams coming out to flow into the mountain, into a valley below. Anyway, so I hope to do a lot more. Okay, well, I'll just have to edit that together, won't I? I hit the stop button. I hope to do a lot more of this adventure, as I have so many stories that I want to put out there. Now, some of my stories, and I am going to bring up the other website, I believe. Yes. Okay. I'm going to turn the camera around here, phone around here. And I do put, let's see here, I think, see it? This is on Facebook. See, it's at Alaskan Wolf Publications, Wolf Star Productions 2024. And I do put some of my stories up here, like there's the story that we spoke of. And then some of these other odds and ends that I play with. See here, these are like ones that I worked on in one night. The AI Affair and Circle of Realms, Who Betrayed Who, Memoir, One Life, One Soul, One Spirit, Kingdom of, Life of Lies. You get the idea. There is no real formula as to these stories. Anyway, they are available for your enjoyment. If you just want to go to this website, Alaskan Publications. And yeah, I hope you enjoy them. With that, you have a good evening, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.